shoot, I actually can't drink anything in a suit, of course. Hey guys, my name is Kuro and I am from Kemono Dungeon Fursuits, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, I am a fursuit maker since 2021, and in this video I am showcasing my newest pre-made head. It is a panda kimono style fursuit. Comes with the head, paws, and a tail. And I'm just kind of doing this video to showcase this work and to do something fun with you guys. So in this episode we are going to do five beginner mistakes that all new fursuit makers might make. Now, of course, this is subjective and just things I've thought of, but some of these might apply to you when you were new, or if you're a newer fursuit maker. Take this as advice of what not to do when building your suit. So, number one is not doing your research. Now, this is super important. Doing your research on anything is going to help you get a better start. You're going to know more, and it's going to make making that suit that much easier. Fursuit making is hard. Let's be real. There's a lot of different things you got to know how to do. You got to know how to sew. You got to know how to sculpt. You got to know how to draw. You got to do a whole lot of different things. And there's going to be tried and true techniques that other makers have spent the time learning to do and not do that might help you to follow along their tutorials, or if you don't know how to do something, you research it and you learn how to do it. For example, I do a lot of tutorials on my TikTok. My TikTok is Kemono Dungeon, and a new one that I've done recently is how to make a neck. Neck making can be hard. There's a ton of different ways to do it, but in that video, I show one way to do it. And there's several people that have commented that they do it a different way. Some people have done it the way that I showed. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but doing your research on neck making, for example, will help you save a lot of time, a lot of money, and a potential mistake if you just research it and do it right from the start. So the second mistake that I see a lot of fursuit makers, first-time makers, beginners do is they don't properly plan. So it's very important that you have some sort of idea of what you want to make, whether you have a persona you've drawn out, whether it is a cosplay like a Pokemon or something like that. You want to have a course of action and you want to have a game plan. And having an idea of what you want done will keep you on track, and then you can research specific things for that. If you go in it with no plan, you might decide something last minute, but then you realize that, oh, if I wanted to add horns, for example, I should have added a base before I started furring the head. Now I have to go through the trouble of adding horns on top of fur, or you may end up having to completely redo the head because you have to now add horns, and it could lead to a lot more mistakes, could lead to disappointment, could lead to confusion, and you might not progress as well as you want to at the time. So having a game plan, setting a schedule, and sticking to it makes the process so much easier, so much better, saves you heartache in the long run, and it keeps you on track towards your goals. Everybody wants to make a good product, everyone wants to succeed. So this step, or this mistake, can easily be avoided with just proper planning. And it's so easy to do. There's so many apps that you can use to help you stay on track. I know a lot of makers use Trello. Try that. Set something every day, post your persona's rep sheet, or your designs, or your inspiration, and stick to it and follow those. So the third one, I know that was a very bad three, but the third tip is cutting corners with cheap products or cheap materials, or not having the proper tools that you need in order to build the suit. Now, of course, if this is your first ever suit, you might not have all the proper tools. which is totally fine. I'm not saying you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a suit, but skimping on materials is really going to impact the quality. You don't want to buy cheap, thin fur, later go to shave it, realize it's total garbage and it makes your suit look terrible. You don't want to buy low density foam if you're building a foam base, because it's going to smush and fall and warp and not look good. Using higher density foam, it's going to hold its shape better, going to handle tape better, going to handle the fur better, going to cut way easier in my opinion. You also don't want to use felt for paw pads. You could use something like fleece, or in this case, minky. It's going to be more expensive, but it's going to look better in the long run. Saving up money is tough. And if you're young or a minor, you might not have a ton of money. There are plenty of places that offer coupons, and oftentimes there's deals and stuff going on that can help you afford the product a little bit better. You could save up over a period of time. If you have enough to buy foam, 1 month, buy the foam, make the foam base. Save your money for a couple more months, buy the fur. Or consider changing your fursona if you have a lot of different colors, or buying half yards or remnants or whatever it may be. There's ways you can budget and save money and still get a quality product. But if you can avoid it, don't buy cheap materials. This is an expensive hobby. Fursuits are expensive, and contrary to what people say, these are luxury items. You don't need this to survive. You don't need a fursuit to be a furry. And number 4 is not taking other people's or other makers' advice or constructive criticism into account, or completely writing them off. I have a hard time taking constructive criticism. I'm a little sensitive with my art. I think a lot of people are. But criticism has been the biggest factor in my improvement over my fursuit making time. You're looking at your fursuit every single day throughout the entire time you're making it, where others, when you post it online, are seeing it for the first time. So they are going to see if the eye is off, or a marking is off, or if your foam base is uneven. They are going to be your biggest looking glass into what is wrong. And people online are going to be blunt sometimes. Some people are going to be mean. And if they are, well, it really sucks, they shouldn't be, but consider their advice and criticism anyway. Improve whatever they're saying is off. Of course, you're going to get trolls and haters that say, oh, furries are all ugly and awful. Ignore those. I am talking the people who actually make suits and actually care about you improving. There is a lot of people that care about your success. They want to see you make a good suit. The furry fandom is very unique in that a lot of people are really supportive. I will support you. If you want critiques, I will help you, because I am a fresh set of eyes. And you can actually go to places like on Reddit or Discord, and there are groups dedicated to critiquing your suits, telling you what you need to do to improve, and so on. But a huge mistake that many beginner makers make is thinking that they know everything. And I believe this is called the Dunning-Kruger effect, where when you first start something, you think you know everything about it. And you go from high confidence, and then as you progress, you realize you know nothing. So you drop. And a lot of people will quit at that point. But then you realize that there is an infinite number of stuff to learn about that topic. And as you go on, years and years and years, you slowly learn more over time. No one is an expert at anything, even makers that have been in the business 10 plus years. So understand that we are all out here to help each other. Take the advice. Nothing will help you faster. And my 5th and final mistake that I see a lot of new makers make is not being able to accept a mistake on your suit or having to redo something. A lot of makers seem to think that once they start something and put it on the head, it's stuck there forever. Don't do that. If you make a mistake, redo it. Accept the fact that you are not infallible. You are human. You are capable of error. As many of us may not like to admit, we do make mistakes from time to time. Even professional makers. We as humans are not perfect. So, as a beginner, they're going to be making way more mistakes than more seasoned makers. They have a system down, you don't yet. For example, if you make a mistake shaving, shave a piece of the fur too close. Replace the panel with fur. Do not leave it there. Or with fur into the bald spot. Whichever one works. Each person has their own techniques and preference. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Do not be afraid to change your mistakes. Do it. It is important. This is how you improve. This is how you make that head the best it will ever be. And in the end, you're spending a lot of money making this or making this for someone. You want it to look good. You want recommendations. You want people online to like it. So if you eventually take commissions, if that's a goal of yours, or if you want to sell in the future, or just get lots of accolades and adorations and lots of photos, all that stuff. You want your suit to look good. And fixing mistakes is the best way to make sure your suit looks good. Alright, but that is it for this episode, guys. I hope you liked it. If any of these resonated with you, or if you know someone who might benefit from this video, definitely send it to them, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. You will help me a ton. And as always, you can check out my work on all of my social medias. I will post them somewhere in this video or in the description. But until next time, guys, I am Kuro from Kemono Dungeon. Bye!
How it's supposed to feel.